So, what did it feel like when I wanted to change my name? Did it hurt, or did you feel like you wished you could have helped me pick it out? And did the name I choose seem to suit me from your perspective, or did you need time before you got used to it? How long did it take for you to start getting used to my new name and my pronouns?
Ooh, okay.
That's quite a question.
That's quite a question. Anyway, so Sky changed his name before the whole transgender thing came out to something that was better fitting in high school, and it sort of suits him. He's into the environment, he's vegetarian, all those little things. Sky, think about it. I got no idea where Tucker comes from, just reminds me of the car, and I can't quite get into that. So I call him Sky, Skylar, it's okay. I am pretty good at pronouns because I started calling him Sky. I still mess up sometimes. I still mess up, even to this day. I think I'm consistent for 6 to 9 months. But if I'm around people that knew Sky before the transition, particularly family members, they haven't quite gotten on it. And sometimes I fall in the trap with them. And most definitely, if we're talking about things that happened in the past, before he transitioned, like I think about him on the beach on a vacation, I'm more likely to say, you know, a non-male pronoun because I'm thinking about him at that time. But I think in day-to-day life I'm doing pretty well. So
yeah, I agree. You caught on pretty quickly. I had to correct you. But I think correcting is something that's awkward for a lot of people, but I was like,
I think so too, and you brought it out. Actually, a really funny story. People that I ride the train with know the story, and I was talking to somebody about something Sky was doing, and I used the wrong pronoun, and they corrected me.
Yeah,
so
that was like
a lot of
weeks
people
ago.
are really tolerant about this and actually on board with it. So
yeah. Okay, how do you feel about me now that time has passed?
he's my son, and I love him.
Simple. All right, were you ever against any of this?
I had to think really hard about this because I don't think I was ever against it. I think I was concerned. I wanted to understand. I didn't understand it. And I wanted to take things slowly and in steps and make sure that it was the right thing for him. You're dealing with a teenager. There's emotions. There's hormones. There's all sorts of things going on. And I wanted to make sure that he took the time to make sure this was the right thing for him. And since it is, it's perfectly okay with me.
Yep. All right. This is probably the longest one. So, all right. What do you recommend for parents who have different plans / vision / hope / dreams / expectations for their children as the children do? I think it wouldn't make any sense to lead my life according to my parents' wishes and not according to what I want. It's sad to have the feeling that my parents would want me to be somebody else, however, being anything else but me wouldn't make me happy. This is from the person's perspective. At the same time, it hurts so much to disappoint them because I love my parents a lot and I know they only want my best. So what is your view on this? Was it uncomfortable and how did you handle it? Most parents, when they hear this, they go bananas. How does this situation make you feel?
I don't know how it is for parents that had set expectations for their child, but I didn't really have a set idea of what would make Sky happy. So I just want him to be happy. I want him to have some passion. I want him to fulfill his dreams. I don't want him to hurt others. I mean, it's very generic, and I really wanted him to find what would make him happy in the world. So I don't feel the transition and all of this has anything to do with being able to do that.
Do you think that maybe me being able to transition at this age has kind of freed me up to be able to explore the dreams and hopes that I may have better than if I'd been weighed down by the fact that maybe you didn't accept me?
I think so.
Okay.
I definitely think so.
All right. That was a little addition to that because I thought that would be good to know.
Putting me on the spot, but I agree. You knew I'd agree.
Yep.
So.
Have you ever been embarrassed about me being transgender?
No.
All right. How do you feel if you see someone you haven't seen in a while and the person asks you how I'm doing? Are you vague or do you tell the person straight out depending on how well you know the person?
I wrote a bunch of stuff down because I want to make sure I cover all the different types of things that I've experienced. To somebody new, I talk about my sons, and that's easy to do. For people who knew I had a daughter at work or my train buddies and things like that, I have stated that I had a daughter and he's now my son, and explained briefly about transition. I wait for them to ask more questions. I want to be really respectful of people that might have problems with it or don't understand. There's a lot to understand. It took me a while, so I'm respectful of that. For friends that knew I had kids and a daughter and a son, a lot of them found out in the Christmas newsletter that year. Family, of course, were called. So I think it really depends on the comfort and how much people knew. I had somebody at work recently ask about how my kids were doing. I talked about my two sons, and they mentioned that didn't you have a daughter? And I'd not talked a lot to them about my family. I said, no, I have two sons. And that was enough for them. They didn't need to hear the whole backstory. We were not that close. So it really depends on the relationship you have with people. I don't feel a need to explain anything to people that are meeting Sky for the first time.
Yeah, but would you say that when you had to tell people when they're like, no, like, and they knew for sure you had a daughter, like, and they weren't necessarily a close friend, but they were like absolutely sure, and you told them that I transitioned, did you feel awkward?
No,
Yeah.
I basically said, I used to have a daughter, he's transgender, and I now have a son.
Okay.
That simple.
Yeah.
And leave it for people to ask you questions.
Has anybody ever said anything mean or been rude?
Not to my face.
Okay, that's good.
I don't think they would, but
Yeah.
no, they haven't questioned it, and I actually know some people are a little bit uncomfortable with it, so I try not to bring it up, and I try not to make it a subject in group conversations. If somebody wants to ask me individually, I'm really happy to talk to them about it.
That's good. All right. Do you worry about my future as a trans guy?
Of course I do. I worry. Anybody worries about their child in general with the world the way it is, but there are a lot of people who are scared and react to things that are different from what they know or they are used to. And when I think about the questions I had about it, trying to go along the way with Sky with it was not that hard, but it wasn't that easy. So somebody that doesn't know anything about it, I certainly can understand that he may get reactions from people due to ignorance, due to feeling threatened, due to the strangeness of it. So I worry about that, yes. Not every day.
Yeah.